Hello, everybody, and welcome to Streaming Rainbow. My name is Bastion, and I am your Master of Ceremonies for today's game. In today's game, we'll be playing a system known as Fabula Ultima. Fabula Ultima, incredible system, really fun system. It's built to make the game feel like a JRPG. And in this game, we'll be exploring a second game, Olympus, the most popular virtual reality MMORPG on the market right now. Becky, your login screen fades as the setting around you materializes. It's an old part of the game. It used to be a starting zone for one of the races on Olympus here near the foot of the mountain, but they recently patched it to combine the starting zones for all of the races to make interaction and meeting with your friends earlier in the game a little bit easier. So this part of the map doesn't actually get a whole lot of visitors. Can you describe your in-game persona to me?
Sure. Becky Beats, the persona, is a wise old lady, very much the sort of crone archetype, although it rendered, of course, in beautiful VR ambiance. That's the word I'm looking for. She is dressed in long gray robes and stands very short, like in the graphics. She says it's for the small hitbox, right? But it's just short. It's just like a head shorter than most other avatars. And she thinks it's good for gravitas.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you load into this sort of deprecated starting zone, what is the glitch in this area that has fascinated you that you haven't reported yet?
Well, the changeover from separate starting zones to one collective starting zone, Becky has discovered that not everything got deleted, and so there are little exploitable parts of the code that can still be found from the old method, which so it can involve things like, teleporting because there's initially teleports you, that sort of thing. Just little exploits.
Nice. I love that. And the screen smash cuts to another login screen, fades as we find Eddie here at the end of a dungeon, having recently done a world first challenge run to clear this particularly hard dungeon, not only solo, but solo and unarmed and naked.
As is his wont. Yeah.
Absolutely. Eddie, can you please introduce your in-game character?
Absolutely. Eddie Ramirez, my in-game character is Tankles Unleashed. And I love chasing challenges, right? Becky and I have been going from game to game for a really long time. And honestly, there's only so far you can go before it gets kind of boring, right? So we've found ways to make it a little bit more interesting for ourselves. And we've got, our differences in how we go at that I think are complementary. Honestly, Becky's saved me so many times I can't count it, right? And part of that is because what I really like to do with my gameplay is I like to go in and I like to break the game from the weirdest direction that I can, in every way that I can. And I like to be the first to take on every challenge that I can with as little as possible. So yeah, My Tankles Unleashed is a beast of a man, just standing like 7 feet tall, has a lion's head on a human body, lion legs, and a lion's tail. Got sort of paw-looking hands, but with full fingers. Uses no weapons, uses no armor. Will never use any weapons or any armor, because who needs weapons or armor when I can just go in there and throw down these paws, right? Right now, in this moment, feeling the achievement, really loving it, energy coming in, just bloodied, right? But standing strong, not quite in crisis, and honestly, mostly just like missing Bex, right? Like the only thing that would have made this run better, yeah, I had to do it solo, so whatever, fine, I did it solo. But like, I don't know, would have been more fun with Becky, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you sort of reminisce, knowing that you're going to be seeing Becky very soon, why do you do this? What really makes these challenges worth all of the effort?
So, I'm a pretty high achievement person, right? Like I like to go for hard things. It's fun for me. It's always been fun for me to get in there and find like, what is the weirdest way that I can do the coolest thing? And honestly, I like to do that for me, and that's great. But I like to do it even more with my friends, right? Like I wanted to go in the oddest way that I could. It started like 3-4 games ago that I was going fully anti-meta on everything. And really, I think, now that you're asking me about it, that it started because I just wanted to make Becky laugh, right? Like we were in there and we were having a good time. It was kind of a little bit of a glitchy game, which is great for Bex, right? Because she loves to find the glitches wherever she can find them. And I was trying to interact with the glitches in interesting ways. And I found this cool nexus point, right? Where like I got to bring in my high skill stuff that I love to do. I like to master and break every game that we get into, but put it together with what she loves, right? In finding those glitches. And I was like, oh, there's something interesting there. And I thought about like, okay, I'm not a coder. Like I don't have a brain like hers, right? Like I bring what I bring, right? But she's definitely the brains of the operation. I really wanted to feel like, okay, there's got to be ways that I can break things apart too. I could find ways to deconstruct stuff, right? And I thought I can do that through gameplay. So that's what I try to do.
Absolutely. As you sit there, your avatar absolutely drenched in the virtual blood of your enemies, the scene smash cuts, the login screen fades in, and we find a completely new character as Diana logs into one of her alts, one of her many, many alts here in this new sort of starting zone. And she missed a screenshot for a guide that she needed, or she's writing up something for this new race or this new strat to get to level 10 even faster or whatever it is. But she's here in the same starting zone that she's seen a million times, on the same build that she's had a million times. Diana, can you please introduce your character?
Yes. As the login information kind of dissipates, Dan kind of takes a look at her profile screen to see her character that she had built on this alt. The build is very much meant to be one and done, easy in, easy out, taken every little option she needed in the race and class background in order to get that optimum outcome. And as a result of this, he's looking at Hollow Point Phoebe, who is a rot nymph of the old garden, a wilting plant person with a kind of prismatic, iridescent quality to her eyes, but with a pale sheen to it. Her hair is dripping down past her shoulders, and with a kind of short skirt almost that's connected to a larger robe made of similarly dyeing materials. And slung over one shoulder is a somewhat contradictory, is her weapon of choice. A silver and gold with highlighted light blue and white Magitech sniper rifle, brimming with power as she exits out of the screen and takes a long sigh as she looks at the starting zone.
Absolutely. And as she sort of takes the starting zone in, we fade back to about a week ago. Diana, you're sat on a Discord call with one of the developers for Olympus doing an interview piece for their upcoming patch that's supposed to introduce some seasonal events and, you know, same old, but ahead of this interview, this developer was kind enough to send you a preview of the patch notes that you went over. And you're really good at your job. So when the patch dropped yesterday, you noticed that there was a line missing from the patch notes compared to the patch notes that the developer sent you. The line simply says, Shrine NPC awaken, interactivity toggled back off. Which, for some reason, piqued your interest. What do you think it is about this small discrepancy that pulled Diana in more than it usually would?
And this was a line that was in their notes to me, but wasn't in the official patch.
Exactly, yeah.
They're not usually in the habit of taking things out. In an MMO, but especially this company, they're not usually ones for taking content out, even if it's buggy, even if it's unfinished, even if it's in a state that nobody wanted it to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So even disabling one NPC is really weird unless they already had an event in there that they wanted to release in secret but aren't now. Or they wanted I suppose, they wanted the public, the press, to think that there was something more, but also it's equally weird because nobody is digging in the code like this as much as, like trawlers like I am. So it's all just fishy and nothing sits right with it.
Absolutely. And as you go through your sort of list of like people that could help you dig into this more, can you introduce us to your out-of-game character? Tell us a little bit about Diana.
Diana is pale-faced with a multitude of freckles covering from top of her head down to her chin. Kind of bright red hair that's it's gone through a lot of breakage from bad hair treatments over the years. She's shorter in stature and especially because her work is mostly at home, she's dressed very casually in just like a dark pair of sweatpants and in a college hoodie of a school that she didn't go to.
Calling out remote workers everywhere.
Doesn't even have to be on camera for it. She doesn't need to. She's not gonna.
Absolutely.
Once in a while, there's an in-person interview, but I can get dolled up for that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's an occasion.
An occasion.
And as you go through your list of names of people who could potentially help you dig into this, make this article, put this together, you come across Becky Beats, someone you know well enough to consider like a friend, maybe on the cusp of friend and acquaintance. You run in a lot of the same circles, but she would be the perfect candidate as someone to help you dig into something that is more code oriented like this. As you type up your Discord message to send over to Becky. We cut over. Becky, what are you up to on an idle Tuesday night?
Oh gosh, Tuesday night. Becky has she usually dresses up during the day just to give her life some structure, you know? She tried the slob life and it just wasn't for her. She couldn't do it. But now that it is evening, she has settled down into her baggy sweatpants, baggy hoodie, and she is sipping from a smoothie that she's made herself and checking out her Pinterest boards.
Yeah, absolutely. And this message comes across your Discord from similarly someone you consider like a friendly acquaintance or an acquaintancely friend that you've worked with before, asking if you want to join in to help uncover some stuff about Olympus, the big hot VR MMORPG. Also asking if you know at least one or two other people, because you're going to need at least 3 people to cover the dungeon content. Unlike Diana with her big list of names, you come to the name of the person that would be perfect pretty quickly. Your close friend and previous coworker, Eddie. As you pull Eddie into this Discord group conversation, Eddie, what are you up to on an idle Tuesday night?
So Eddie was playing a single-player game, having come home from work, kind of exhausted, was looking to get out of his head. So he's playing something repetitive, like a tower defense game in this case, right? Something that he has loved since he was really, really young, or like an earlier version of it, right? He loved since he was really, really young, but that he goes back to when he just needs to unwind kind of mindlessly, right? So he was doing a bit of that on his phone, actually, but he kept his notifications on. So while he was trying to place some towers, the push notification comes through from the message from Becky. Since it's Becky, he's super happy to hear about it. And since he's, basically just running a new challenge for the millionth time on this map, he just closes it out. He stops it immediately. And he's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Absolutely. As you are all pulled into this group conversation, the 3 of you coordinating your journey into Olympus to figure out what on earth this patch note could mean. But before we get there, we're going to unravel the final layer here and introduce our players. So, speaking of tower defense, Tower, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
In-game character?
The actual Tower.
Oh, me. Sorry, real me. Yeah, I'm Tower. I don't know. What do you want to know about me? Have you they them and I'm strange. Give me a
Absolutely.
prompt me, game master.
Where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram as Tower, spelled a little strangely. I should put that in my little profile tag, my little tag thing on here, and on YouTube with as Zodzilla, Xaodzilla. Yeah, I'm not a big out there like doing everything publicly on social media type yet. So I'm not too many places.
Yeah, but the most important place you are is the Streaming Rainbow Discord. Get in the Discord, link in the video description below. It's the best place. That's where we get our incredible players, but more importantly, it's an incredible and welcoming community, and we'd love to have you on the world's biggest couch to hang out in the world's coolest living room.
It's lovely. I wouldn't have been in this game if I wasn't cordially invited to the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Danny, tell us about you. Where can we find you? What do you do? What do you like? Are you strange?
I think we're all strange in our own ways. I hope we're all strange. If not, how boring, right? Would life be? Yeah, Danny Mendoza. Nice to say hi to everybody who's watching us. This is my second project with Streaming Rainbow, first campaign. And I'm really excited, really grateful to be here. On socials, you can find me, Danny R. Mendoza, everywhere. It's what I use on everything. Most of my socials are private, though. So you have to request to follow. But no, I'm really excited. I'm really happy to be doing this actual play. This system is really, really cool. I'm a professional storyteller by trade. I'm really excited about games and systems. And so this is great, both in terms of being able to do the actual play and then also metatextually, right? Like it's really, really interesting to be playing characters who themselves are interested in like systems and structures of games and like breaking the game. I think that's going to be a lot of fun and super excited to play with all of you. We've been getting to know each other prepping for this, and I think you're all awesome.
Aw, I think you're awesome. Speaking of awesome people, my fellow Streaming Rainbow founder, Sera. Tell us about you.
Hey, everybody. I'm Serafina Smith. You can call me Sera. And I am one of the GMs with Streaming Rainbow. And you can find me on Blue Sky at Windhover at, all the bluesky.social, blah, blah, blah. Windhover with a Y. Because Y is the most eldritch of letters. I am happy to be here. Really excited about Olympus, excited about playing Becky, excited about this sort of different context that we're finding ourselves in, and ready to place myself in Bastion's gentle care.
Mm.
Yeah, and if you've seen my other shows, you know how gentle my care can be.
Indeed.
Absolutely go check out Sera's other shows. Our headliner actual play, Hallie's Children, incredible show. Go check it out if you haven't already. We cut back into Olympus. The three of you joining up in game after having gotten through your respective starting zones, getting kind of the part of the MMO experience where it suddenly opens up and you have access to everything. You meet in one of the hub cities. This hub city is the city of Minos. It is right outside of the it's on the outskirts of the island of Labyrinthos, home to Tankles race, these sort of half men, half women, half beasts that roam the labyrinth. Most of the island is a labyrinth, but there's this small little outcropping here that serves as the connection point from Labyrinthos to the rest of the world. And the reason that you're here is after doing some digging, Becky, you get some information. Can I get our first roll of the game?
You sure can. What do you want?
It's an int.
Int. Love it. Wow. That is 19.
A 19.
Yeah.
Jeez. So to zoom out and explain the rolling system for our lovely viewers, each character has 4 main stats: insight, might, willpower, and dexterity. And each of these is represented by a die size, ranging from D4 to D10. The characters will typically roll 2 attributes on any given roll. Sometimes it can be the same, like the one that Sera just rolled for insight. Sometimes it can be mixed, like if you're trying to dodge through a particularly long obstacle course, might be a dexterity might, for example. Your base target, if no target is said, kind of your normal target is 10. And our wonderful Becky Beats just rolled a 19 on the first roll of the game. So Becky, when you're getting information on a new game, what are the go-to things that you do?
Getting information on a new game, well, you got to go to the dark web for that. You know, you got to...
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. You got to go to the people who treat games like they're a drug. And that's where Becky finds all the dirt, all the stuff that's not in the official. I am having trouble with words today. All the stuff that's not in the official press releases and such.
Yeah. So as you go and start digging in on this sort of lost patch note that Diana has told you about, you find some information back from the original open beta for the game. They had their first seasonal event, the Festival of Many Fires. And in this event, the idea was you go through Labyrinthos and light these different shrines with a torch. And it was a timed event. The torch was only lit for so long. You had to get through the maze in a certain time and light all of the shrines. And that is kind of the main, like, there are a few other like smaller shrine or things like that, but shrine isn't really used in this game. Usually it's temple, right? Or something like that. It's very like Greek themed, and a lot of it's like wording and flavor. But they explicitly called them shrines in the Festival of Many Flames. So the first stop for all of you was, of course, Labyrinthos, to try and see if there's any more information. The problem is this event was from the open beta. It's been gone. There's no shrines in the maze itself. So whatever interactivity flag got toggled on or off, or whatever shrine, you have to find it first. But as our crew all comes together and converges in Minos for the first time, kind of seeing each other in game, what are y'all's reactions to each other's builds, looks?
And here I feel like it's incumbent for me to repeat that fully naked, just wearing a belt. Just a belt, tall lion, just 7 foot tall lion head, buff human body, paws, lion legs, belt, and a little tail wagging in the back. Happy to see you.
The classic lion tail wag.
Exactly. As we all know. Yeah. Old hat. Yeah.
All right, you can pull out your X card at any point in the game. This is an important time to remind players. You need to X card the lion tail wag. It's an option.
Not okay. I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
I think probably. The in-game character Phoebe comes up to about your chin, so I'm like about directly peck level when I finally see you.
Good.
Sorry.
Oh gosh.
Hey.
If you're at peck level, and I've already said that my is short, yeah, I don't like that.
Maybe you're like navel. You could be like belly button level.
Let's say
Let's say
navel.
navel.
Navel's fair.
Like if you just stand up straight, you'd be okay.
She just like stop herself from snickering. Like, can someone put you up to a bet or?
Yeah, me. I put myself up to the bet. It's a bet against myself, and I'm gonna win.
Eddie always commits to the bit.
I think as you say that, Phoebe does a little emote that comes with this race, and she scratches the left side of her eye where there is an exposed skull, and scratches at the bottom of the socket.
Nice. I like that. It's just big,
We're
big
perfectly normal, perfectly like a Sylvan face on the other side, exposed skull on the other eye.
Nice.
Yeah, Becky's avatar is very much like first one you see on the starting screen. Click that first row. Click that, etc. No emotes at all. She does not give anything about any of that. She just wants to break the game and get through it. And she will do whatever is utilitarian for that. So that's where she's at. Love that.
Absolutely. As our cobbled together crew comes to this labyrinth entrance here, the labyrinth itself functions as an instanced dungeon. So once you go in with your party, it's just going to be the three of you. Now, normally a party in this MMO is 5 players, right? Your typical tank, healer, 3 DPS is what you're looking at, but y'all don't need that. Y'all are better than that.
I probably went in telling them that the normal party size is 5, and if I'm not mistaken, I think probably from both Becky and Eddie, we got the response of, "Now we got this."
So Eddie actually just sent screenshots of his solo runs in Labyrinthos, and just
he responded with point taken.
With various poses, like just emotes of the lion posing strongly like a bodybuilder, and then laughing emoji. Yeah.
Absolutely. But as you sort of approach Labyrinthos, make your way to the dungeon, what is on everyone's mind? What are y'all thinking about in terms of this missing patch note, in terms of this team up, in terms of the glitch itself, Labyrinthos? What's going through everyone's minds? What about you, Tankles?
So I at the surface level, all about the game, but beneath that, honestly, I'm hoping that we can find something kind of cool about my in-game character's lore and all that. Even though I'm mostly into breaking the game, I actually got super excited when I was researching this character and saw that I could play as what's usually like an adversary, like an enemy in the game. I was like, oh, that's really dope. And then I wanted to dig in further on that, and I heard some rumors that there might be some hidden content around that, something from when that shipped, which was before I started playing. And so I'd love to find that. I know it's a little bit of a personal side quest, right? So I don't want to dislodge what we're focused on, but I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that while we're doing the rest of what we're doing.
Absolutely. And what about you, Becky Beats?
Becky is laser focused right now. I talked before about people who treat games as drugs. For Becky, the drug is the glitches, is the pieces that don't fit. And so she is seeking her high right now, and she feels like she can because she's with Eddie, because she's with Tankles, she feels like she is safe to sort of drop her outer personality and just be herself, and focus on what she is interested in. So she is just sort of quietly focused right now.
Absolutely. And how about our Hollow Point Phoebe?
Makes sense, this Labyrinthus. Honestly, if there's a breakage, if there's something that's supposed to be working that isn't, or isn't supposed to be working that is, it makes sense that the broken on launch Labyrinthos is the first place to look. Well, I guess it's largely considered broken on launch. There's whisperings and people say that this was the intended release this was what the developers intended story and gameplay wise, but just by how jank it all is, it's a little suspect, and it was involved in the early events and everything. It just the dots are connecting that Labyrinthus is probably a good place to start, and because Becky found a lead that one of the shrines is already there, the points are connecting. I think in Diana's mind a little bit, the hunt is on.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, it is weird that Labyrinthos has so much jank in such a polished and well-regarded game. Well-regarded games can have jank. We've all played Oblivion, but Olympus doesn't have a lot of jank. The jank it does have does seem to be pretty concentrated in Labyrinthos in terms of what normal mortal players can find, non-legends, such as Becky Beats.
Mm-hmm.
The loading screen clears as the three of you are placed inside of the labyrinth, the fairly large dungeon. It was a very experimental dungeon when it was made because it actually handles many different levels of player depending on which path you take, and there are several different exits and sort of bosses and things like that seemed interesting, but most people actually didn't like revisiting content that they felt they had already cleared, so it hasn't been as popular and they haven't revisited it as they've increased the max level. So it's mostly a leveling dungeon for people that are trying to level quickly and like dungeon content or things like that. As you land, a big red blaring message shows up in front of you saying, "Warning, warning. Only 3 people have entered this instance. It is recommended you play with 5 players." That is immediately dismissed by the group, I imagine.
Everyone just confirm, please.
Yeah, Tankles just swipes a paw at it to try to get it to go away from his vision.
Absolutely. As you manage to bat it away, you hear the soft oinks and grunts of the main low-level enemy in this dungeon, the feared labyrinth boars that are working their way around. You hear them through the hedges. The labyrinth itself is a mixture of sort of hedges that have invisible walls, so you can't just walk through them, and ruined stone to make this big maze. And you, with that 19 that you rolled earlier, Becky, you have a pretty good idea of where this shrine is inside the labyrinth. But you still gotta get there. So who's gonna lead our navigation roll here? This is going to be an insight dex check.
Yeah.
I think I might want to lead that in that case, actually. I think I'm quite good at both of those.
What do you got?
Unless I got 10 in both.
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Great.
I think as long as I get the heading from Becky, I think Phoebe can take point.
Yeah. So this will be our first group roll. The way it works is we have a leader. The leader is the one making the main roll. Our other 2 characters will be supporting them. So Becky Beats and Tankles will be rolling the same roll, Insight plus Dex, against a base difficulty of 10. Now, they can't get a critical or a fumble on that. But if they get above that 10, it will give Hollow Point Phoebe an additional +1 to whatever the result is for this roll. So let's start with our support rolls.
That's a 7 for Tankles, unsurprisingly.
14 here, so got that
All
plus
right.
1.
Got that +1.
Wonderful. Let's see what we got. Oh, with a +1, that'll be a 9.
Oof.
No.
Fortunately. That was a 6 and a 2.
Bummer. Well,
Unfortunately. Well, actually,
Mm.
I think finding this shrine as fast as possible would be considered connected to my theme of curiosity. In trying my hardest to find the first bit of hidden content that pretty much anyone's been able to find in this game, considering how Loctite it is.
yeah, absolutely. So you're introducing another new mechanic called Fabula Points. Fabula Points are the way that this system allows players to take a little bit more control of their outcomes. So you can spin them to re-roll dice by invoking a character trait that you have, or to add to a die roll by invoking a bond that you have. So we're going to be invoking it on this curiosity trait to help push Hollow Point Phoebe a little bit further and see if we can get a success.
So that means I get to re-roll one dice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
All right. That is a 6. So that's a 13 total now.
Hey.
Nice. There we go. So what do you do? How do you dig deeper to make sure this happens?
We're just right now, we have a specific heading, thanks to Becky. Like, we have, like, if not an exact path, like an approximate path of, like, we just need to take these 2 lefts and a right in a certain order. It's a little vague, but it's enough to go off of. I think the main thing is, first thing I think Phoebe says when taking point is Tankles take better point. kind of like attack dogs Tankles forward to just kind of plow through these early level boars, or at least get them enough out of the way that me and Becky can rush through. And it's kind of a repetition game of that, with a mixture of Becky's slow spells to keep them off our tail if they get too fast. Because right now we don't need the XP, we just need to get there fast. And I can get us there fast. And there's kind of like maybe a moments of just, after Phoebe has already cleared the enemies, turning back to see Becky trying to support Tankles, like manhandling 3 boars at once. So
just honestly, just
pepper them all.
Yeah, like picking up the boars, like palming a basketball, right? And just like throwing them in various directions. But all the time, you could hear, if you get like in the moments where Tankles gets closer, because I think at this point he's taking up the rear. You hear like muttering to himself, like, "Get it together! Come on, we got to do this. We gotta know which way to go."
But and
the thing is, I think that some of that leaks through because Tankles has a feature called Navigator, right? That allows us all to talk to each other telepathically. So that's helpful for like silent coordination and all that. That's the reason why, as a game feature, it makes sense. But in these moments, it's also like giving a little bit too much of like inside Tankles' head, right?
Absolutely.
Like, come on, you know where to go. You're from here, you know. That's
talk isn't on, Eddie.
This is your home. You should be able to show people where to go.
But yeah, it's the cycle of leaping over boars and waiting for Eddie to come up. Yeah. What were you saying, Becky?
Becky's just walking just calmly because she's got the scary dog energy of Tankles. You know, nobody's gonna fuck with them.
Whenever a boar gets past Eddie to like charge past you, just a bolt of energy passes right over your shoulder and just disintegrates it behind you.
Absolutely.
And I gotta tell you, Eddie just like loves watching Becky's confidence in these kinds of situations, right? Like, just in this moment, I know I look up and I see Bex moving forward, and the trust that she has that we've got this, that makes me trust myself more, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the main thing is that the Fabula point is that I'm helping coordinate my allies well in order to get through this faster.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. And that will bring you down to 1 Fabula point. All right. So you make your way through the maze, dealing with the low level, like baby boar enemies, tossing them like basketballs, freezing them, shooting them with your bolt rifle. Easy. They're fodder, right? Y'all have been through this. You get to sort of that next tier in difficulty where you bump up from the baby boar enemies to the normal sized boars, which of course these are video game boars, so they're roughly the size of wolves. And as you get to this new section of the maze, the sort of environment of the maze shifts a little bit as well. It looks more like pillars, like more temple sort of architecture pieces, statues, things like that begin to sort of show up and dot. The hedges seem a little bit more well taken care of, just a sort of slightly different aesthetic to symbolize that y'all have come into like a different part of the maze. But you make it to where the shrine is supposed to be, and of course it's not there, right? It's been patched out ages ago, but this is where the shrine would be. It's in a sort of dead end, and originally there was an NPC here that would give you an unlit torch, and you would light your torch at the fire of this first shrine and go and bring it to the rest of the shrines in the maze to get the seasonal reward. But as you get there, you're staring at a dead end.
Diana, the patch notes said that they were going to disable the interaction. Does that mean if they didn't have that in there, that the interaction is still there and we can just interact?
Assuming the crack that I got is correct, which it is, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Now the question is, where the hell is that shrine person?
As you ask that, and the gears in Becky's brain starts turning, you all hear a series of grunts. A veritable stampede of piggy noises as rounding the corner, charging straight at the group, is 5 boars coming full speed. Let's get our initiative roll.
All right.
Me and Becky are supporting Tankles.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you remind me what we're rolling for the initiative? Which die?
For initiative, that is For initiative, that is Dex plus Insight.
Beautiful. Thank you. Dex plus Insight. Again, is not the strongest for me, but I do have a very good initiative modifier. All right. So, hey, that was great. So that is 9 plus 11. That is 20.
20 initiative. Yeah. Y'all sure go first. It's gonna be a minute, I think, before y'all are not going first with your insane modifier. What is your modifier for initiative?
Plus 11.
Plus 11.
Comical.
That's ridiculous.
Gotta be speedy when you're naked.
That's
for
fair.
A peek behind the curtain here, the number to beat is 9.
Needless to say, we're good.
All right, so the way that combat works in Fabula Ultima, you can think of it almost like a really old school turn-based RPG where it's player's turn, enemy's turn, player's turn, enemy's turn. The players can act in any slot, so it's not a set order, right? This round it might be Becky, Eddie, Diana, and the next round it could be Eddie, Diana, Becky, right? The order isn't fixed in that way. So starting off, jumping into combat, who is our first player?
if we don't mind potentially having Tankles rush to the front, Tankles is just going to rush to the front to be a human, like, meat shield or partially human meat shield in between the party and whatever's coming at us, and is going to activate Theriomorphosis, the Electrophora. So what you see is this half lion, half human, hulking beast of a man, just crackling lightning all over, coming out of his paws first and then all over his body. And you see just in close up as he just has a big toothy grin, it crackles across his cat eyes as he growls lowly and waits. And that's his turn.
Absolutely. And we move over to the boar's turn. Our first boar is going to charge in and attempt to take a bite out of Tankles' bare leg.
Okay.
But absolutely fumbles this.
Oh.
And in trying to take this bite out of Tankles' leg, gets hit by this sort of shock of electricity, and is going to be dazed and enraged.
Love that.
All right, that cuts it back to the player's turn.
How many boards did you say there were? 5?
There were 5, yeah.
I'd love if I could take a shot at 3 of them. As Phoebe is going to, right off the bat, turn the opposite direction that Tankles ran and see if she can find any sort of terrain or object cover. And after she does so, she's just gonna see if she's gonna. After she finds something, she's gonna quickly spin around and let out a multi-shot barrage with her rifle.
Absolutely. You find one of the statues here. It's not much cover, but it's more than nothing. As you make this barrage, go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay, will do. That will be an 18.
An 18. An 18 does hit.
And I think
Absolutely.
I'll just target for 1, 2, 3.
All right.
And then, so my high roll for that was an 8. So that'll be 20 bolt damage as 3 consecutive artificially generated divine thunderbolts lance from the long barrel of the sniper and singe the fur and scorch the flesh of the boars.
Absolutely. One of the boars rears up and is going to attempt to gore Tankles, not being able to get past Tankles to get to its true target, Phoebe. And that one is going to be a 12 to hit.
That hits.
All right. And with that 12 to hit, that is going to be 17 damage as the tusks dig into your abdomen.
And decently gored. Decently gored for sure.
Yeah. As we move to Becky.
All right. Becky lets out a sigh as she realizes she's not going to be able to ignore this. And she turns to face the boars and takes out her book, which is the only weapon that she bought for this character. Looks through it and raises it above her head to cast out a spell upon the encroaching boars, and she will cast Torpor, which is one of her spiritist spells.
Absolutely.
You smother the soul energy coursing through the bodies of your foes, hindering their movements. Choose slow or weak. You inflict the chosen target status effect on each target. So I'm going to go ahead and try it on boars 2, 3, and 4.
All right.
Because I can get up to 3 creatures. Right. And remind me the roll for this. I really should have it.
I believe that is insight willpower. but I
That
can
makes sense.
pull that up
Sounds
real
right.
quick. Spirit of Smash. Yep, Insight, Willpower.
Insight, willpower. Okay.
I think most checks are insight willpower. Or magic, I mean. Most magic check.
There's some that are might willpower as well. But I think for
Yeah.
Spiritist, it would be insight willpower.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a 13.
A 13 will hit all of them. Are you slowing them or dazing them?
I am gonna daze them.
All right.
And so at the end of my turn, with more than 2 different status effects on enemies, I get to advance my 0 power clock.
Absolutely, you do. Yeah, and for our viewers, we dazed, enraged, and slow are all status effects. And what they do is they bump down various die sizes by 1. So each of our dazed boars has their insight die bumped down by 1. Our enraged boar has their dexterity and insight die bumped down by 1.
Oh, I'm
As
sorry.
they say, suck.
I made a mistake. There is no dazed in this. It is either slow or weak, so I will weaken them.
Ah, there you go. So that's going to reduce their might.
Yes.
That's better, I'm pretty sure. They're big and beefy.
They are big and beefy,
Less big and beefy now.
right?
Big and porky, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, and then I got to adjust some
Funny guys, I
die
promise.
sizes here. So oof. All right. Tankles, what is your defense?
Defense, regular defense is 11.
11. All right. So the rest of the 3 boars attack. 2 of them are going to hit for a total of 23 damage as they surround you and start ripping into you.
All right, so I'm getting gored on 2 sides, and that takes me below half my health, takes me into crisis, and my 0 clock is full, y'all. So bloodied, battered, torn up, you see Tankles look up and smile and say, "You made a real bad mistake," and just into a larger version of themselves. So you see Tankles mutate into now closer to like a 9-foot version, rippling muscles, a little more intelligence behind the eyes, and absolutely ferocious. As mechanically, everything that he's able to do steps up 1 level, and that has a rolling impact on how strong he is, how tough he is, and he is ready to tear some people up. And he declared in this moment, "Explosive Swarm Storm!" And that is the 0 power active. So now, just as a way of guiding through what that means, his D8s are D10s. His D10 is a D12. His D6 is a D8. That bumps up defense, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit. So he's tough. He's in a tough spot right now.
Next to sequence, my 0 clock fills a little bit as well. You use your power.
Oh yeah.
For our viewers, 0 powers are very powerful abilities that our characters have access to, taken from the High Fantasy Atlas. Is an optional rule to give us some special signature powers. Each of our characters have one. They have specific triggers that fill sections of a clock, and once that clock is full, then they can activate that 0 power. Eddie's got filled from the damage that he took from the boars, as well as entering crisis, which brought him up to the 6 sections he needed for this to trigger. And with that, we move to our next round. Who's taking our first player turn?
I think that Becky is offended that Tankles got so wounded and is very just feels that that should be beneath them, and so she's going to just quickly sort of wave her hand, and out of her hand comes the most boilerplate default magic glyph that you could ever pick, and she casts heal on Tankles.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That will cost me 10 MP, and then I need to roll for this, yes?
I believe so.
Okay.
Let me pull it up.
I should actually check these things instead of asking you every time.
I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of this game yet. It's weird. I'm so used to games where I know them in and out.
Dude.
I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about playing a new system together, right? We get to discover all this together.
Yeah. Nope, it's just a straight up. Each target recovers 40 health points.
Mm-hmm.
And you can target up to 3.
Yeah. So I'm
So
just
if you wanna
targeting
heal
the
the
one
boars,
for 10
then-
MP. No, I don't think I'm going to heal the boars.
So with 40 health points, Tankles is now in this incredibly dangerous state and at full health.
Yeah.
This is an exciting day for Eddie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we move to the enemy turn. The boar that got shocked is going to attempt to dodge around Eddie. That's going to be a Dex Might. And can you give me a Dex Might roll, please?
Yeah, 100%. Let me see. Oh, and I get to do it bigger now. All right,
Yeah.
so it's going to be a D10 and a D12.
Great. You just got to beat an 11.
All right. Is there a modifier on this?
Just a straight roll.
Just straight roll? I did not beat it. I rolled a 10.
All right.
Yeah.
This boar is going to break through to start charging at Phoebe and Becky Beats, but it cannot get there this turn. And we cut over to players.
If it's okay, I think that with that, Eddie would likely have Tankles turn around to grab this creature that just passed by and do an unarmed strike using Bolt from the Theriomorphosis that he turned on before. So that is going to be... Okay, so that is going to be Willpower plus Dex, which now is... Sorry, not Might plus Dex, which is now a D12 plus a D8. Sorry, D10. Oh, I rolled a D8 before. Well, that's okay. All right. And I got double ones, so I fumbled.
You fumble. Our
Big
first
fumble.
Big fumble.
Big fumble energy.
You called him
I
Big
like how
Fumble.
the zero
that
power
time.
is doing nothing to help us.
That's why it's
You
called a
just
zero
got so
power.
big and then you tripped on a frickin' branch.
Well, the good news is you get 1 Fabula point.
Okay, so that takes me up to 4, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
And the bad news is that you fumbled. So let's see what opportunity we want to offer to our boars here. Duh.
I mean, personally, I want to offer no opportunity for the board. Is there a vote that we can take for this? Because I
Is there
vote
a
no.
zero power for zero boar opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My zero powers, I take away the board's agency.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, I think in turning your back, you don't quite turn fast enough to like actually get to or stop this boar, but you do open up opportunities for the boars behind you. So this next boar that's going to come at you is going to get a +4 to their roll.
Okay. The defense for a physical attack is now 13 because of the change in the 0 power.
Great. All right, this boar is weak. So that's going to bump you there. But that is a 23 to hit. This board just got a max roll to hit you. Nice. And I think it comes in, like scoops up and almost like picks you up, like even in your 9-foot form, and like pushes you forward a foot, hitting you for 20 damage.
Just really unhappy with that hit. And in our heads, since we're all able to talk to each other in our heads, I think you hear, "Get it together."
All right, and we cut to Phoebe.
I had a nickel for every RPG that I had a first session where a boar rolled insane damage. I'd have 2 nickels, but that's still more than I expected. I think after seeing Tankles double in size and then get picked up by a boar matching that size, I think she just kind of says under her breath, which I think comes through the telepathy a little bit, "Game working as intended," and she's going to actually hunker down further and take the guard action, and then because of Hawkeye, that's going to give her next attack extra damage.
Hell yeah. All right, and that leaves us with a couple of boars. So 2 of them are going to try and make their way around Tankles here. Can you give me a Dex Might?
Yeah. And this time I will roll with a D10, as I should have. Still not amazing.
You're big Tankles, remember this.
I know. I know. It's still not great. It's an 11.
An 11 is enough to stop the first boar. The second boar is going to try and break through.
Okay.
Roll again, please.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Hey, there we go. 19.
19 sure stops the 7.
Okay.
Right in its tracks. And then the final boar, so you've got one last boar is going to attempt to attack you with a 4. So you're able to easily sort of dodge out of the way, push it away, stop it from hitting you as we come back to the top of the round.
And if I take my shot crew?
Do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think Phoebe has been sitting there at the end of her barrel. A small orb of electricity has been charging up in power, and she is just going to let loose on the boar that specifically was upending Tankles.
Absolutely.
That'll be a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. 23 bolt damage, if you please.
23 bolt damage. Absolutely. You fire off this shot to the boar that had picked up Tankles, and it shoots straight through the boar, almost like a laser, as the boar just it shatters in a spray of virtual blood and death particles as you dispatch one of the boars.
I think when Phoebe lets off those louder shots, she says clear telepathically, because there's a bright flash of light when those louder shots are taken out. So just to warn Becky and Tankles when they're coming, so they don't get immediately blinded.
Absolutely. All right, this first boar, the only boar who is broken through, is going to go ahead and try and attack Becky Beats as the closest person who is not Tankles. They are dazed and enraged. So let's see what they got. That is a 9 to hit.
That is exactly my defense.
Yeah, meets it, beats it. So because it rolled the same as your defense, it will hit, and that's going to be 16 damage to Becky.
16 damage, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Not in crisis yet.
Well, that's good. And you get to mark off a section of your 0 power clock.
Yes, I do. Puts me halfway there.
So Eddie and Tankles both are furious. And if the turn is back to players, I believe, Tankles is rushing and raging, rampaging directly at this thing that dared to go after Becky, and is going to, with a balled fist just covered in crackling lightning, going to whop it square in the back of the neck. And this is might plus dex. That is 18.
18 hits.
Alrighty. I actually would love to... I don't know if this is applying correctly. It says, I can spend a Fabula point after performing a check to invoke a bond and add its strength to the result. If
Absolutely.
I wanted to add the strength to the damage, is that possible?
I will allow it this time because I think it's flavorful.
Beautiful. Okay, so going to spend a Fabula point. That brings me down to 3, invoking Becky Best Friend on this, and say, no, you do not. Bah! Right? And I am going to hit the higher of the two. What did I say? That was 18, right?
Yep.
10 plus 15 bolt damage. So that is 25 bolt damage. And since it went over the 25 point threshold, that is slow. But then I'm supposed to add the strength of the result of the bond, spending the Fabula point. Do we know how that works? What it means to add its strength? Do I roll another?
It's just +1.
It's just +1 right now.
It's the number of the bond.
Number of the bond. Perfect. So just 26.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 26 damage and slow.
You turn around, whap, slam this thing square on the middle of its skull and just shatter it in front of Becky as it dissipates into its death particles as well, leaving only 3 boars left, 2 of which haven't gone yet. And
reaction, if it's okay, just very quickly, eye contact with Becky. Are you okay?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Okay. Turn around, get ready to defend.
Absolutely. Both of these boars are in front of Eddie, so they're going to take their swings at him. First one misses with an 11. Second one misses with a 12. Not quite there. Becky, what do you do?
All right, Becky now feels content that Eddie's got this. So she's turning back around, and she is going to study the pixels around her to try to see if there's anything to indicate where she should be figuring this interaction out.
Absolutely. Give me an insight roll.
I love insight rolls.
It's your favorite roll. You're going to be making a lot with your character.
Yeah, that's why I made it like this. Love it. And that is a 14.
A 14. So what a 14 gets you, looking at the dead end here, the textures are, it's a hedge, and touching it, it's an invisible wall for this hedge. You know a couple of things that you can try to get past this that wouldn't work in like a normal Olympus, but in this jank it might, in terms of like trying to position yourself to either corner in and essentially no clip through, or to get over the hedge to get to the other side. But this hedge stands out to you because it is an asset from the older part of the dungeon that you had left previously. Everything like the nicer part, or excuse me, the lower level part that you left previously. This is the same type of hedge that's there, and not the type of hedge that's normally in this zone.
I see. So I have a power called Flash of Insight. And what that is when I roll a 13 or higher on a check performed to investigate a creature, item, or location, which I just did.
Yep.
I may ask the game master up to 2 questions concerning the subject of my investigation.
Do it.
So my first question is, do I need to go over or clip fit?
You could do either. You think that it would be easier for someone like Tankles to go over it, because that's going to be more of like your character's physical stats. But for you and Phoebe, it might be easier to try and get that perfect angle to clip through.
Okay.
Especially given your smaller hitboxes.
Yes. Second question. Just because this is a suspicion in her suspicious mind, is this attack related to the thing we're investigating?
It is unrelated to the thing that you were investigating.
Okay. That is my turn. My
Great.
clock goes up 1 more.
Wonderful. And that brings us back to the top of the round. Who wants it?
Who wants it?
I feel like Tower has a solid shot lined up from the guard position.
We've got one more. We've got one more weakened boar. I think I could easily take just a quick shot. Yeah, I'll just take that. And then as I'm kind of looking over my shoulder right before I take it, just seeing Becky examining the hedge, knowing that, like, okay, our out is on the way. As I'm gonna kind of sit up a little more with the rifle and take another blast.
Absolutely.
That'll be another 15.
That hits.
Okay, 8 plus, so that'll be 20 again.
20
bolt.
is enough to kill this other damaged boar as your bolt bores through it, shattering it like the
like
ones
a mining
before.
laser just cutting through it like completely horizontally as its pixels just dissipate.
Oh, so good.
Basically.
It
All
bores
right.
through it.
And
Thank you, Sera.
Eddie turns back to Diana, full of admiration, noting that Diana can hang, and smiles and says, "Anybody want bacon?"
It's canon now. Diana can hang.
Mm-hmm.
It's you said it. It's the hangers say.
All right. So we've only got 2 boars left. One of them is still under the weak condition, but both of them are uninjured. The one under the weak condition is going to attempt to gore Eddie. And that is going to be a failure. It's easily, now that you've gotten the hang of these boars' attack patterns, you've gotten over the foibles of the beginning of this encounter and are easily dodging out of the way of their attacks as we come back to player turn.
I think I'm going to go after the one that just went after me with another physical attack, just another unarmed strike, still with the Theramorphosis up because it applies the whole way through. Send me a 17 to hit.
That sure hits.
Beautiful. And then that was a 12 on the big die. So that is going to be 27 bolt damage
27.
and slow. Bah! Again on the top of the head.
All right.
It
And
gets
it
to be
is
tank
slow.
and damage. It's not fair.
Min-maxer for the win, right?
Gee, Tank, please. Why does your mom let you play 2 different MMO classes at once?
Incredible. All right. This uninjured boar, seeing how ineffective the attacks of its comrades are, is going to attempt to get past you, Tankles. I'm going to need another Dex Might roll.
Let's do it.
You're aiming to beat an 8.
Well, I got a 16.
Sure do stop this boar from getting past you.
Yeah.
Grab the tusks and just, like, wrestled with it.
Yeah,
is
got by the tusks.
Is that like the hinder action that I'm doing in that moment, or am I grappling it?
It basically be grappling it or stopping it from getting past you. Yeah.
Okay. Copy. Understood.
All right, and that will bring us to Becky.
Yeah, so Becky's figured out what she wanted to figure out, and she sees the two boars, and she walks up to the injured boar, the weak, slow boar. And did you know this book, she says, is a weapon? You literally hit people with the book. It's a silly game. And she smacks it with the book. And that is an insight plus insight roll for my tome. And that is a 13.
Get a telepathic portal of
13
laughter.
hits.
13 hits. The higher roll was a 7 plus 6 is 13 damage.
13. You take your
It's a really
book
silly game.
and you bonk the boar on the head. And as the boars that have fallen before it shatters in a comedic spray of blood and death particles, coating your book in red.
Oh,
Nice.
As that brings us top of the round, there's one boar left.
And I'm just for clarity. Tankles has the boar in like a headlock, right?
Yeah.
Just holding the boar right there in a headlock under his arm.
Yeah, for cinematic effect here, how do y'all work together to dispatch this final boar?
I think even though Tankles could just clock it, seeing how Diana could hang, Eddie looks up over toward Hollow Point Phoebe, and just gives a nod, and sees if she wants to take the shot.
She moves with the she takes a hand from the grip and points up.
Nice. So then Tankles
And then she says to Becky, like, slow it once it's up there. I have an idea.
So Tankles smiles ear to ear, crouches down, holding on to this thing, and just lobs it up with their whole body, just putting all of their might into sending it up as high as he can.
and Becky says, pull.
And the orb that was charging at the end of the barrel lances out and at a perfect diagonal cuts the boar in half.
Absolutely, as you
And
dispatch.
the particles get lost in Tankles' fur, which then dissipates. The closest he'll get to being bloodied in this game.
Love it.
Yeah, as we
The particles
leave
don't even
combat.
stay or anything. There's no point.
All right, you are victorious, and you have gained some information on what you can do next. How do y'all do? What do y'all do? How do y'all regroup?
Think Eddie checks in on everybody. Y'all okay? Anybody need some healing?
I look down at my avatar and see all the blood. Actually, probably yes.
So if you want, I think that Eddie would want to share an elixir with Becky, if that's allowable. So Eddie would spend 3 inventory points, generate an elixir from his really, I was gonna say from his pack, but he doesn't carry anything. So generate
From hammer
generate
space.
elixir from pixel nothingness, and hand it over to Becky in game and say, "Drink up."
Thanks. And where did that come from, anyway?
My mind and sheer willpower.
He proceeds to cycle through items rapidly, showing how they just appear in her hand and disappear just as fast. It's just the logic of the game, and then the hand is then once again free.
Yeah, Eddie shrugs and says, "It's a silly game."
It is a silly game.
I can't believe the book is a weapon. That's insane. He says that out loud, just like leaning on the rifle.
A melee weapon, not a magic weapon. A melee weapon. You hit people with it.
What do we do about the shrubbery?
So, real quick to sort of put a cap on it, the elixir will give you back 50 mind points. You can spend some mind points to heal the team before you do that, which I think will get everyone up to full.
Awesome.
Thanks.
And for the audience, instead of tracking fiddly inventory like you would in a JRPG and hoard 99 potions until the final boss, and then not use them because you're already too good at the game because you haven't been using potions the whole freaking game.
Yeah.
Instead, you have inventory points, which you can convert into consumable items, and those get replenished when you go to towns and restock and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And since Eddie's trying to min-max resources, instead of conjuring up a remedy, which would just be like a healing potion, the elixir feeds the mind points over to Sera, so Sera can use exactly what was just described. And then still be back at full, I think, mind points, probably.
Yep. All right, and we cut in with Diana asking about the shrubbery.
Yeah.
How do we get through it?
Oh, that's easy. We can either go over, which was probably easy for giant Tankles, or we can clip through. Easy peasy.
Yeah, sweet.
So, want to give us a ride, Eddie?
Yeah, hop on, right? Still huge from the zero power, from explosive swarm storm.
Yeah, I was about to say, are we like still at
Explosive
peak
swarm
math
storm.
right now?
Yeah, I think it goes away at the end of the scene. So if we're still in the
It's the
scene,
same scene, yeah.
You're still big. Yeah, I think we can both grab onto a shoulder. Yeah, I'll declip
Absolutely.
the weapon and then get on a shoulder.
Give me a might dexterity roll, Eddie.
Beautiful. All right, that is a 10.
A 10. A 10 is just enough to sort of surpass it. You try and do like the wall-to-wall jump, which works for like 2 jumps, but then you wind up like when you're a kid in a doorway and you've like pressed all 4 limbs against it and you like scoot your way up. You kind of have to do that against the invisible walls to get the rest of the way up. Not the most glamorous look, but you do eventually get up. And lo and behold, on the other side of this like misplaced shrub that only someone who is attentive to details as Becky could have spotted is a further path that looks like where the dead end originally ended. And at the end of the path is a sort of thin, willowy woman. It looks like some sort of insect version of what Eddie is. Her body is like very praying mantis type of feeling. She's got her arms sort of up here, and behind her is a like PS2 era graphics version of a shrine would be what it would look like to like very knowledgeable VR gamers. That'd be what it'd be like to us, is seeing that sort of the way that's modeled is like, oh, they didn't finish that one. Got it. as you plop down in front of her. She looks up and you see the name tag above her says Irene _ all caps flame bearer.
Is this in the same style as that first event's shrines? Even if it's low poly, is it the same style?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Wow, we've found your glitch.
Mm-hmm.
Hail,
Oh.
adventurers. Happy festival of many flames.
She got confused as three of us. She repeated the dialogue.
Yeah.
I think Eddie just looks over at Becky to take his cues.
Yeah, Becky's like leaning in, studying all the graphics, looking for interesting things.
Yeah, give me an insight.
I love insight.
Yeah.
10.
A 10. On a 10, the thing that stands out to you, like you got the PS2 era shrine, you got the like, why did they even leave this in here at all type of question. Like if they did what they needed to block it off, why not just remove this code or like things like that? Maybe it's a weird load bearing thing or someone got spaghetti code and this NPC needs to be here for something else to trigger or who knows. But the thing that stands out to you, in contrast to this like low poly essentially shrine, is Irene herself is a very well made model and very much matches the modern MMO.
So it's like they updated her, but not the rest.
Yeah. As Becky's studying her, kind of like looking at the model, I think Phoebe will actually address the NPC and be like, "Hail, Flamekeeper. Do you have a quest for us?"
Please accept my flame. And you see like quest pop up that is just blank and it says accept at the bottom.
I look towards Becky, and then she
already done.
I look towards, because she already has the thought of like, well, I want to press it. Should I? And she's pressed it. Okay. Makes that decision easier for me.
Yeah, as you press it, though, the dialogue actually disappears from Hollow Point Phoebe and Tankles' screen as you see another pop up that says, "Bing, unlit torch added to inventory. Please bear the flame. Light, please, light, please. Find light, please.
Well,
so I actually think that Tankles would like to use his psychic gift of clairvoyance. Clairvoyance. Ask the game master a single question about the NPC, which the game master must answer truthfully. Then describe what sensation revealed the information to me. I can only use it once on each NPC. And it interacts with my brainwave clock. So my brainwave clock is currently at 0 out of 4, which means that this currently costs 5 mind points, and it would tick up, 5, 10, 15, 20, right? And then I could do it past then, but it's still 20 until it resets out of the event. So I think that what Eddie wants to know is, felt like what the NPC just said maybe wasn't just a glitch. It felt like, find the light, please, 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 was the NPC pleading with us to find the light. Is that true?
Yes.
So Eddie is a little shaken by that. a little uncharacteristically reverent, really, and steps aside and says to Becky, "Listen, I think we should tell Diana what I told you about Labyrinthos."
Yes. Yes, all right. I think, yeah, I mean, she can hang.
Yeah, right? Okay. I mean, that's what I was thinking, you know?
Yeah.
Phoebe's looking into the eyes of the NPC really closely as you guys are talking.
And so, walking over to Phoebe, have you heard any of the rumors about Labyrinthos on the forums about AGI?
Heard of them, yes. I don't look too much into them. They're not really it's not really what I write about, but yeah, why?
So, I've been messing around over in Labyrinthos for a minute with this character build, and I think there might be something to it. I'm not saying that these NPCs are actually sentient, right? That feels super unlikely. But
Borderline impossible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not how computers work.
It's just not where the technology is, right? It doesn't make any sense. I'm sure it is just something that they ship.
You're leading to a butt. Leading to a butt.
I think there's real hidden content. That
we've seen proof of it.
Right, they've nested on purpose. So I think that this might be what we just unlocked right now. I don't think that this is glitching. I think it's supposed to look like a glitch. This is telling us exactly what it's supposed to tell us. It's begging us to please find the light. And I think that whatever these, folks on Reddit and whatever are talking about that they think might be AGI, I think it's a really, really big, I don't even want to call it an Easter egg, like a hidden patch that honestly we want to track down. Becky and I are really into the idea of going for that. And we think that this might be the way in, right? Taking this seriously, not that it's AGI, but that whatever they're reacting to that they think is that is just like a really advanced patch hidden inside the jankiness. They could take us to something really cool. Would you be interested in that?
I think Diana's of two minds hearing this. The logic of this is we have a job to do, we're investigating this, and we're figuring this out. But her theme is curiosity. So she can't help but get a tickle tickle in the back of her head. I'd like to, if I can, GM, to see if I can do a study action about the lore of the game, because that's something that I more privately, Diana is very interested in, and has a little notepad on her desktop, specifically compiling the unfinished notes of the lore of this game. So I was curious if I could think about see if there are any mentions of an esoteric or divine, or specifically a lore mention of light, whether it's a meaning behind the specific word or an entity associated with light, possibly, or a location associated with light.
Absolutely. Give me an insight roll.
I can do that.
I hope that doesn't become the most
11?
overused roll.
I think it already has.
It won't be, because Tankles is terrible at them.
Not an insightful lion. No. All right,
no,
an 11.
Not really.
With an 11, as you are sort of going over your notes, you have a list of urban legends, most of which have lines crossed through them with little notes scribbled just a player in a weird costume, or was patched out, or leftover
Dragonbone
content
coming in future patch, interview attached.
Right, exactly. But there's one that's at the top of your list in circle. It's kind of the biggest urban legend of Olympus. You see, Olympus is built as this giant mountain that contains whole kingdoms and cities and fractions all on this massive mountain. And the closer you get to the peak, the more difficult the content becomes. And once you reach the peak of Olympus, that's all of the end game content. And only the best of the best raid groups really spend any time at the peak of Olympus, because it's all just incredibly difficult, like world bosses and events and content like that. But there have been a couple screenshots circulating from one of the newer virtual reality headsets that's even higher fidelity than your typical headset, that if you're at that peak and you look up towards the sun at just the right angle, you can see a shimmer that looks like a second peak. And players have been theorizing since the game came out and since the first people were sort of able to get to the peak and eventually like see little bits and pieces of this, that maybe the peak that everyone spends their time on and chases is a sort of a false peak, that there's a true peak even higher up towards the sun that is the true end game for Olympus, whatever that means. But aside from a few shaky screenshots that look like pictures of UFOs or Bigfoot, there hasn't been any sort of other information to go on. But in terms of things that are connected directly to this like idea of light, that would be the one: chasing the sun, finding the true peak.
I think she honestly, as dramatic as this, she mutters under her breath, and she kind of like looks up. Hey, shoot. What are you thinking? And she kind of looks back towards Tankles with a kind of literally an accepting look in her eyes of like, yeah, sure. Impress me.
Okay, and I think with that, Eddie in Tankles, just looks back over at Becky to follow her lead.
Well, it sounds like we need to find a fire to light this torch.
And then find a light. And I can't say there's anything but the peak that I'm thinking of associated with light. The peak and, the other one.
Yeah.
The whole glint, the reflection, it's... Come on, you've heard of it, right?
Oh, yeah. I've heard of it. I'm going to find it.
She kind of like laughs a little bit, like, oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're in VR, so you can't really see facial expressions as well as one would think. But yeah, she's very matter of fact about this. Like, yeah, I'm going to find it. It's just a given.
And as you say that and make a move towards the hedge that y'all had passed through, you hear a sort of like an activation noise, like you had activated like a consumable or a wand or something like that. And a doorway appears and opens through the invisible wall of the hedge.
That definitely shouldn't have happened, right?
Or maybe it really
We have done
have.
Why couldn't we have done that?
It was, let's be honest, it was much more fun riding on Tankles.
Honestly, it was fun for me. I had a really good time scooting up there. It made me feel useful.
I think Phoebe is immediately looking for cover, though, just on instinct.
Yeah,
Even if
there's
it's another
no cover
player.
here except behind Irene.
I disagree. I hide behind Tankles.
The ultimate
Tankles
cover.
is very happy to do
I
that.
respectfully disagree.
Tankles squares up, and you actually notice that Eddie has Tankles like open his legs a little bit in case you want to get on the ground to be able
Oh, I'm already there. I'm already there. No, I'm already there. I'm already there. We're telepathic. We got this.
Love it.
But on the other side is just the rest of the hallway leading to this dead end.
Becky, what do you think?
I think we're in uncharted territory, and I want to know who made it.
Let's get that done.
You make your way out of the maze, and it's easy enough. You've already cleared all the monsters here. There's no real reason to go after any of the other maze content for now. And as you leave the dungeon proper, you hear, as you make your way back to the world map, essentially, sort of a dull chime, like an old church bell. And we cut out to a scene of the three of y'all on a Discord call later that night, with Diana sharing her screen. The forum is on fire. There are a few hard of hearing players that have closed captioning turned on and have taken screenshots of the closed captioning saying open bracket bell chime comma hydra dot is awake.
That is exciting.
And that is where we will end today's game. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I had an absolute blast playing Fabula Ultima with y'all and for y'all. Please come check out the Discord. Streaming Rainbow is where it is at. Check out some of our other content. Both Sera and I have other incredible series that are definitely worth checking out on this channel. Go hit it up. Go follow our friends Danny and Tower on their socials and support them as well. I can't wait to see y'all next week. Until then, I love each and every one of you. Take care of yourselves.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye-bye.